ND 21, Duke 14 for Fighting Irish Preview and fightingirishpreview.com. I'm Phil Houck, and for the first time in, 4 hours or so, I'm back to breathing. I'm not holding my breath anymore. The Irish scored touchdowns tonight on their first drive. That was good after that fake punt. And on their last drive. But in between, a whole lot of interesting play, shall we say. They only managed 2 field goals. They committed 12 penalties. They punted the ball 6 times, and the Irish missed a 37-yard field goal in between those 2 touchdowns. They had a 10-0 lead at halftime, and then pushed it to 13-0 at the 9:17 mark of the third quarter. And then things got really interesting because on 2 of their next 3 drives, Duke went for touchdowns, 75 yards on the first drive and then 80 yards on the second one. And then at the 9:17 mark of the fourth quarter, Duke had a lead of 14-13. The Irish then went 3 and out, punted it back to Duke, who returned the favor, did punt the ball back to the Irish, but not before they got a couple of first downs and were able to bleed the clock all the way down to 2 minutes and 35 seconds. And they pinned the Irish with that little pooch punt from, about the 40-yard line where they had penetrated into Notre Dame territory, back at their own 5-yard line. So 2 minutes and 35 seconds. The Irish got the ball. They're at their own 5. They got to go 95 yards. They're down by 1. They don't need to go 95. They just need a field goal. But they got some work to do. And that's when the breath holding really started. The Irish drive eventually went 10 plays. It included 2 penalties on Tobias Merriweather that cost the Irish 20 yards. A pass interference call on Duke, one of the few penalties on Duke tonight, that gained the Irish 13 yards. Sam Hartman went 3 of 4 passing, catches by Estime, Mitchell Evans, who was big all night long, and Rico Flores. And then things turned right when they looked the bleakest, because with 41 seconds to go, 4th and 16 from the Duke 47. What are the odds? There's only 41 seconds left. Sam Hartman rolled right, pumped the ball, tucked it. This time, last week he was denied on a 4th down run. This time he was not going to be denied. Sam Hartman on that 4th down play gained 17 yards and a first down, all the way to the Duke 30. Suddenly the Irish are actually in field goal range at that point. It would have been a 47-yarder from there. What a clutch play by Hartman to pick up those yards scrambling. And then, of course, on the next play, Audric Estime finally found some running room. He had been stopped all night long, and he went up the middle, a little bit off to the right, 30 yards to the end zone. And with 31 seconds left on the clock, the score is 19-14. The Irish go for 2 points. A little toss from Hartman to Rico Flores, a little run-pass option play. And that was good, and the Irish had their 7-point lead at 21-14. That's where it ended. After the kickoff on the second play, on the second play after the kickoff, Duke fumbled the ball back to the Irish, and the Irish ended the game there. The Irish, some numbers that were really disturbing. The Irish 3 of 15 tonight on 3rd down, but match that up with the fact that they were 3 of 3 on 4th down. That makes for just a breath-holding kind of game. 3 of 15 on 3rd down, but 3 of 3 on 4th down. 12 penalties. We've talked about this before, Irish. Wow. I think the Irish were an angry team. We talked about that pregame, and I think that anger may have impacted their good judgment out there on the field tonight. Jordan Botelho, a bad targeting call in the game. It was clearly targeting, and he'll be disqualified, I believe, for next week for the first half of that game. They're going to need Jordan Botelho. The Irish did not turn the ball over. That's really good news. And they forced 2 turnovers. They got the fumble on the nearly the last play of the game to get it back, and they also had an interception. Xavier Watts had an interception in the first half that led to the field goal, one of the field goals. Total offense tonight, Irish totaled 381 yards to 323 yards for Duke. And some individual numbers. Mitchell Evans, 6 catches, 6 targets. No, he was targeted more than that. But he had 6 catches. He was targeted one more time at the end. I think he had 7 targets, 134 yards. He has really emerged as a big weapon. And he really needed to, because the Irish are very thin at receiver. Deion Colsey's down. Matt Salerno's down. Jaden Thomas is down, and we found out pregame late that Jaden Greathouse is also out. The starting wide receiver trio of Tyree, Flores, and Merriweather combined for just 4 catches tonight. And Audric Estime was stopped most of the night. He did score both touchdowns. He had 81 yards on his 18 carries. Of course, until that last 30-yard run, he had 51 yards on 17 carries. I think that's comes to about an average of about 2.5 yards per carry. So the Irish, again, I'm going to breathe. It's nice to be able to breathe again. So the Irish find a way tonight, and they go to 5-1. And next week it's another road challenge. Louisville at Louisville. Louisville winners tonight, 13-10 over North Carolina State. Louisville is undefeated. Another undefeated challenge for the Irish. Okay, so everybody join me now and breathe a little bit. And for Fighting Irish Preview and fightingirishpreview.com, please tune in this week. Check out our new website. We'll have all kinds of stuff up there at fightingirishpreview.com, and we'll break this game down even more there and get you ready for Louisville. And that's a wrap.